I think the 4 turnovers are unacceptable. No, it's. I mean, what can you say? Yeah, just the efficiency of his game. Scoring 48 points on 24 shots. 20 of 24. And Melvin is exactly right. I thought his teammates did an exceptional job of finding him. He got behind the zone on several occasions. We threw a lot of lob passes up there to him, and he's a great finisher on those types of plays. The few stops we did get in the second half, more often than not, we found Melvin running down the lane, stepped up and hit a couple big threes. They did a good job keeping themselves in striking distance. We needed every one of those baskets to keep it right around that 9 to 12 point margin, and for those guys to, I think, understand what was going on out there and to continue to give Melvin the ball was pretty cool to see. Yeah, he stepped out and hit a couple threes, I think, but everything else was you're right, Bobby. It was right around the rim, and again, George draws so much attention in there. DeAndre, when he's driving the ball to the basket, more often than not, they collapse on him because of his ability to finish. And then Melvin was the recipient when his guy stepped in to help. By those guys again being unselfish and dishing the ball off. 27 assists on 32 field goals. That's something to certainly be proud of. Yeah, I think this will get a lot of national attention, obviously, because of the fact that it's a Big 12 record, and there's been some pretty special players that have gone through this league. I remember I was in the front office, and one of my first games I ever scouted was Texas at Colorado, and Kevin Durant dropped 40 and 20. And, for a guy like Durant and Blake Griffin and, all the great players that have gone through this league, Melvin Ejim's name is at the top for points. And that's unbelievable for a guy, like you said, Travis, that probably doesn't give as much credit as he deserves. Yeah, we did put in some new actions. They've been playing against Texas. They played 40 minutes of zone. So that's been the focus. We were very lucky to play on Monday and have all this time to work on our new plays that we put in. If this is a one-day prep, it's hard to put in too many zone actions. There's some teams run a little bit of zone, primarily man, in this league, but we were able to really work on these at length. First half we missed a couple times what we were supposed to get the ball in the zone, but once we got it in the middle and that middle man came up, that opened up a lot of things at the rim. For Melvin, he did a good job keeping himself hidden on the baseline, working himself underneath the backboard, and that's what you have to do when you get the ball in the middle of the zone. Yeah, they again, I give them credit. They did a good job getting themselves to the free throw line. That's been one of our biggest strengths defensively, is keeping teams off the line. And in the second half, they shot 21 free throws, and again, that allowed them to hang around. They hit shots too. Anderson and Fields were out there knocking down threes. So I take my hat off to this team. This team that had lost 9 straight coming in, but they're playing hard. They're playing hard, solid basketball, and it's just a matter of time, I think, before they start getting some wins. It's hard. It's hard, Travis. I only got 18 against Kansas back in '94. No, again, I credit the guys around him for finding him. They knew he was having a special game, and they got him the ball. I thought in that second half, we shot almost 65% in that second half, and that was just getting Melvin the ball at the right spots, and then Melvin going up and doing his job and finishing. Well, he's put himself in a great position, that's for sure. I mean, he's leading the best conference in the nation in scoring, and again, right now, Kansas has 3 lottery picks in their team if they all decide to go on. Oklahoma State's got a couple in there, Baylor with their big guys, and it's Melvin Ejim that's leading this league in scoring. Last year was rebounding, so he's shown his versatility. He's shooting the ball very well. He's knocking down his free throws. He's really getting back, I think, to his form in rebounding, and he's scoring the ball extremely well. So he's putting himself in a great position. It just takes one team, but I anticipate getting a lot of action on Melvin after the season's over, and then it's going to be a big couple months. But we'll worry about that here, hopefully in a couple months. Yeah, I mean, God, it was so long ago. I don't know. I don't remember back then. I did have 51 against No, it's pretty cool, especially when in a game like this, again, you had to have him. So it's not like it's a blowout out there where he's just out there getting garbage baskets. We needed him because they're matching us basket for basket. They scored 47 in the second half, and we had to go out there and get those points. So they came in clutch situations, and I think that's the most impressive thing about it. Again, another one-day prep. We've had a couple of these now this year, and we just we need to go out with great focus tomorrow. It's not going to be a long physical practice. It's going to be very mental, and they're playing great. I see they're giving Kansas everything they can handle right now at their place. It's a team that's playing with a lot of freedom and shooting the heck out of the ball. So we'll just put our principles in and hopefully go out and execute. They're running a lot of different actions. They're running a lot of ball screens this year with Staten, and you look at his numbers. I mean, you could argue he's up there, the Player of the Year of the conference, just because of the numbers he's putting up, being the leaders in assists and points. So he's playing great, and you got Harris and Henderson out there shooting the heck out of Debo, shooting the ball. They got a lot of weapons out there on the floor this year.
Defensively, it's all about picking our poison, and they got a lot of options. They move the ball really well. They pass it really well. But the thing that's probably the most impressive to me about Iowa State is just their competitiveness and their willingness to, compete at a high level and value possessions. And what I mean by that is, we're the last place team in the league. We have, we've been scrapping and fighting, and we got a bunch of guys banged up, but they're like, hey, we take no prisoners. And for me, I respect that so much because it's about competition. And Fred had a group early in the year, and they were doing that to people. I watched some tape of them early in the year, and they just came out and they take care of their business. So, and they had every opportunity to be flat in this game. So we probably played as well as we can in spurts. I mean, the last 4 out of 5, we battled. For us to be within striking distance with about 4 minutes to go, I can't fault it. I can't fault what our kids did. I go back to Melvin, back at Media Day, and he's one of my favorites. College basketball players in the country this year. I think he's really underrated. He's a hell of a kid, at least from the interaction I've had with him. And he plays extremely hard and he's very efficient. So they're good. He said, is there a little bit of a helpless feeling? There's a little bit of a helpless feeling for us when I see Amrick out there dragging that leg around, and I figure if we double down on Ejim, they're gonna throw it back out on the perimeter. And so I don't know if it's a helpless feeling, but it's a feeling of concern. I mean, he could have helped if he'd have just missed a couple, because then it would have been a little different ball game, hopefully. So I don't like to use the word helpless. You have to respect competition. You have to respect good players, good coaching, and a good program and a good team. And all of what's going on is where we're trying to get to. And it's not going to happen overnight, but we're going to get there sooner or later. Otherwise, I'll be sitting in the stands with that young lady who was screaming at me. I want to go back to my playing days. We played Portland State, and they had Freeman Williams. He went for 52 off us in 1976, but we won. It was in Boise, okay? So can I go before he starts asking me a bunch of other questions? Fred wants to come in here and talk, please.